So Shadowdark is becoming the talk of the town. Everybody at the tavern has an opinion about it, is excited about it. It has this Kickstarter that is, I wouldn't be surprised if it passed like 1 million in its first day or something. So very, very popular. And I think that is so cool. Kelsey Dion, you fucking rock. Like, you go, girl. Like that. It's so cool to see it doing as well as it's doing. And from a creator and from from the Arcane Library, that it's amazing. So I'm not here to poop on that or to rain on anybody's black parade. But frankly, I do think there needs to be an acknowledgement that Shadowdark, or plug in any system in place of this, is not going to save your hobby. Because at the end of the day, Shadowdark is just a system. And a game like D&D or the RPG hobby, if you play a TTRPG, you can buy as many books as you want. You can have as many cool systems that you are excited about as a GM. And that does not correlate with having a group that you're meeting with weekly or every other week or once a month and playing actually fun campaigns. All it causes, the only relationship between buying Shadowdark and the impact it has on your hobby is that now you have another cool book to put on your shelf, which for some people, like, hey, if that's all you want, like, that's great. But if you are truly looking to have a fun, engaging, thriving RPG hobby, there's more to it than just buying a book. Because all of the problems that you had in your previous campaign, right? If you were running a 5e campaign, if you were running a Morkborg campaign, whatever, they're going to follow you over into Shadowdark. If you had scheduling conflicts, if you had burnout, if you didn't have time to prep, if you didn't have players who were excited to be there at the table, none of that is really going to go away because of Shadowdark. It might help in some ways, like the OSR, very minimalist style can certainly help with like, oh, I am excited to prep this thing. It's easier to prep this thing. It doesn't ask as much of me as the GM. But that, like, GM hype does not carry over an equal player hype, right? You can be as excited about something as you want. You could show up one week, be like, guys, you're never going to believe it, but Pathfinder 2 is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It is so fucking sick. The customization you have as a player and with your character is unlike anything else out there. There's so many cool monsters. They've got tons of support from the company putting out cool modules and stuff. What do you guys think? And your players might look at that rulebook and be like, eh. And then your campaign doesn't make it past session 1, right? It's just like, it's just too complicated. We weren't actually really feeling it, right? So with all that being said, right, a system is just a system. Your 5e problems are going to carry over into whatever thing you try and start up. GM hype doesn't equal player hype, right? What is the solution? What can save your RPG hobby? Well, it's honestly pretty simple, I think. And that is, you have to be excited about and willing to put in the work to start a group. And not just like, hey, I want to start a campaign, everybody come over for one night and we're going to do a session 0. No. You have to be really invested in wanting to run an awesome adventure. And it doesn't even have to be a campaign. It doesn't have to be some multi-month long thing. It could just be a couple weeks, a couple sessions of just a really sick adventure. And that means putting together something that your players will be hyped about, that your players will be excited for. And every group's different, but for me and the types of players I like to attract to my games, that means kit bashing some really cool minis and turning those into digital VTT tokens that I can take into Owlbear Rodeo and prepping some really cool maps with custom terrain so that when my players show up each week, I have, my campaign is a mega dungeon crawl. And that means they constantly have new areas to explore. And I am constantly taking their backstory elements and working them into the story. And they are, as often as I can, every session, they're uncovering new things about their backstory, new secrets about the world that are directly related to their characters. It's not just stuff that I think's cool. It has to do with their party and the story they're trying to tell. And if you aren't willing to do that, then your RPG hobby is just going to keep suffering. It's just going to keep going through this cycle of burnout and things falling apart and groups not being consistent. And that's like, not to say that you won't, occasionally have players fall out of a group. Like, that's just going to happen. And you might have some dry spills where like your life just gets busy or whatever, or your players can't make it work with their schedules. But that is not the same thing as I'm a forever GM and I don't have any players. I can't find a group. If you can't find a group, you damn well better start one, because the only thing that's going to save your RPG hobby is you. And so I hope to, by running the Church of Doom and by putting out these videos, inspire you and to give you the that go out there and make something cool attitude. If you've watched my videos, then you know that I'm not just, to quote kind of an older Runehammer video, I'm not just talking about RPGs. I am doing RPGs. I am engaging with the hobby, making things digitally, right? But you might like to draw things. You might like to paint things. Merge your hobbies together. That is one of the biggest, super got me hyped to enjoy and really have the energy to prep cool things for my players. It's like, I'm not just scouring the internet for other people's PDFs, That's the same thing as Shadowdark. The next PDF you find that has a pre-written module for you is not going to save your hobby. It might give you something to run next week, but doesn't mean that you or your players are going to be excited about it or really have the enthusiasm to stick with it. So if you like to draw, start drawing miniatures, start drawing paper minis for your group. And when you show up at your next session and you have a collection of even just 6, maybe that's all you had time for. You have 6 little paper minis, a couple characters and the monster that you're going to fight that week, and you kind of draw with Sharpie on a piece of paper the map. You are going to be excited about that, and your players are going to feel that excitement and resonate with it and want to come back the next week to see what you have prepped for them. If the only thing you're offering your players each week is, here's the next piece of pre-written content that somebody else made for our campaign, and I'm kind of just half-assing it and kind of running it in just a not very inspiring way, then no wonder the groups aren't lasting and the campaigns are kind of fizzling out, right? So I hope that this wasn't too much of a just bleh video. I don't want it to be that. Genuinely, I want this video to inspire you. Genuinely, I want you to buy Shadowdark, because they do have a Kickstarter going on right now. Go back it, and back it because you are already, right now, before it's even come out, making things, prepping things, building things, drawing things, painting things, whatever you want to do to run the coolest campaign you possibly can. Because that's really the only thing there is to it. That's the only thing that is going to make your RPG hobby the coolest thing you will ever do with your friends. So thanks for attending this RPG car sermon. I had a couple errands I had to run. Somebody picked up a copy of Monster Psalms, which, hey, you can go buy that on my website. I've still got quite a few hardcover copies left, but I'm about to ship that and then a bunch of other errands to run. But I wanted to get a video out for you all on this topic about Shadowdark because it's on so many people's minds right now. So thank you for listening. Leave some comments with your own thoughts, and we say these things in their unholy names. Amen.